Welcome back everybody to today's video. We are going to be watching the Total Drama Iceberg. Ooh, now I've seen these Iceberg videos. For a while they confused me what exactly their purpose was, but they basically just go over different areas of information around whatever subject it is, you know, TV show, franchise, and as, you know, they go further in the video, they go into the more, I think it's obscure or more controversial stuff, I'm not exactly sure, but you know what? It's half an hour, a lot of people suggested it, I say, let's get into it. Play.
So if you're not familiar with these Iceberg memes, the basic gist is that they are visualizations
convenient.
of how accessible and well-known knowledge surrounding a general interest or fan community is. The stuff everyone knows is at the top, and the stuff that is more obscure and knowledge goes further down. This video is going to explain to you the Total Drama Iceberg, which was actually sort of made by myself. Partially.
There are more seasons than Island.
There are two icebergs that I found on the Total Drama subreddit by these users. And to be more cohesive with this video, I chose to adapt both of them to a larger picture, with a few changes of my own. You can check out the links to the original Reddit post I adapted this iceberg from in the description. But I do want to make something clear to avoid unnecessary hostility. People are often split about what iceberg memes should be. Some people prefer iceberg memes that actually go in depth about serious trivia and theories about a topic, while others prefer the more silly, tongue-in-cheek icebergs that are mostly just nonsense. The two icebergs I made my own based on actually both represent these archetypes pretty well. So I just want to let you know that when designing this iceberg, I tried to keep the majority of the tiers dedicated to serious talking points that actual fans of the show will bring up. But I did let myself include some of the silly creepypasta tier shit at the bottom. So it's a little bit of a mix of both. Now, with that said, I should probably try not to read them. You know, spoilers.
Switch 1E, yeah, that's his name.
Made in Canada. The sky portion of this iceberg is going to be short, by the way.
Of course.
The icebergs I used barely had anything, and I couldn't think of much either. But yeah, Total Drama Island was made in Canada.
The most surface level information.
I didn't really realize it for a while as a kid. Even though they say it here and there, I likely missed it. And whenever they mentioned the term Muskoka, Ontario, or whatever, it would just go in one ear and out the other. Because it just sounds so Canadian. Nothing about geography. I'd imagine a lot of people who watched the show when they were little but don't remember much might not be aware of the show taking place in Canada either. There are more seasons than Island. Once again, something that most people know.
It's not like it's most people's favorite.
Island is a huge media franchise with several other seasons and even 2 spin-offs. You have Action, World Tour, Revenge of the Island, All-Stars, Pocketo Island, and some new stuff coming up.
That's right.
We also have the spin-offs, Redonkulous Race, and the next topic, Total Drama Rama.
Gross.
Total Drama Rama is a spin-off of the main show,
and this one's gross too.
Usual cast of characters as little kids in daycare. It's not canon or anything, and it is certainly not the most well-received either. It features mostly characters from Total Drama Island, but interestingly enough, also features Jude from 16, which is a separate show from Total Drama made by
clearly they did that just so Chris's voice actor would be in it. Still, it just makes no sense.
2 different winners each season. This is actually kind of an interesting fact about the whole show. There are no canonical winners for the most part. Each finale is made with 2 separate endings where one of the final 2 wins the challenge. So,
yeah, why'd they do that?
Total Drama Island has 2 endings, one where Owen wins and one where Gwen wins. This is why there is little to no mention of a season's previous winner in any episode of Total Drama, with the exception of once or twice in Total Drama Action. It's because in certain parts of the world, Owen was aired winning the first season while Gwen was aired winning in other parts, and having to juggle different versions of all the show's episodes is really tedious.
It really just messed up the canon, basically.
Celebrity Manhunt. Total Drama Island and Celebrity Manhunt's Total Drama Action Reunion Special are 2 one-hour specials of Total Drama that served as transitions between seasons 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 respectively. Total Drama 4 Times Island had Chris round up the campers for one final challenge for the opportunity to win $1 million. But after a bunch of shenanigans, it ends up in a tie which is broken in the following season. The Celebrity Manhunt Special is an episode of a fictional TV show that shows how the cast of Total Drama has been hanging since the previous seasons of the show. It ends with the
I feel like a lot of what he's going to say for a while is stuff we already know, so...
These 2 episodes are personal favorites of mine, due to how unique they really are. Blaney. Speaking of Celebrity Manhunt, Blaney is one of the fictional hosts of the Celebrity Manhunt TV show,
one likes her,
and plays a minor role in Total Drama World Tour. After taking over the Aftermath show with Jeff, she eventually ends up being a surprise 3rd new contestant in Total Drama World Tour. It was definitely interesting seeing her, as she was one of the most unique characters. Beyond just being a celebrity, she was also presumably an adult woman, unlike the rest of the cast, who are all teenagers. Though she's an
egomaniac who's greedy to win. That's like half the cast.
The Redonkulous Race is a spin-off. The Redonkulous Race was a spin-off show of Total Drama. You all probably know that. But it was an interesting point in Total Drama history, given its return to the 26-episode format and its completely new challenge structure.
I should probably
I also
rewatch
like
it
how they
eventually.
took the opportunity to have a few
Have a new
characters from Total Drama on the
elevated
show. It's certainly a better
perspective of
spin-off
it.
idea than Total Dramarama. Chris's pet Venus flytrap. Chris is revealed to have a pet Venus flytrap in Total Drama Revenge of the Island. Named Larry.
I do not remember
He
that.
apparently left it at Camp Wawanakwa at the end of season
Oh,
1,
yeah.
and after turning the island into a nuclear dump site, Larry turned into a gigantic freaky plant monster.
I vaguely remember
Despite
it.
being abandoned by Chris, there appear to be no hard feelings. Audition tapes. At the end of every episode of the show,
Ah,
or
yes.
at least for a lot of the seasons, the show would
I remember I tried to
bonus
react to as
These
much
clips
Total
were
Drama
audition
content as
tapes of
possible.
characters who were put on the
These
show,
were included.
and they would usually air after the episode a character was booted out. They're actually pretty fun to watch, and add a bit of context about the individual characters' personal lives.
There's my boy Ezekiel.
The winners do not have audition tapes.
Yes,
Gwen and Owen are the only
I remember
two
that.
members of the first cast that never had their audition tape shown. This is
'Cause they didn't lose.
Well, they made it to the finale. And because of that, there was never an episode that had the chance to show off their audition as a bonus clip. Kind of sad, because I'd love to see how the two would have auditioned. 16. 16 is a Canadian animated teen sitcom, which focuses on the
Which we've
after-school life
seen.
of a few teenagers. The reason this show is part of the Iceberg is because, like Total Drama, the show was produced by Fresh TV and was created and worked on by a lot of the same people. Because of this, Total Drama and 16 have always been very closely intertwined.
Like the
and
intro and
shows
action.
have a few references to each other. I mentioned that a character from 16 appears in Total Dramarama, but what's also interesting is that in the 16th episode of Total Drama
Yep,
Action,
and I didn't
there is
get
a
it the first
straight-up
time.
parody done of the main theme of 16 with the cast of Action.
So many people
Same
commented,
song,
oh,
just
it's
the
the
characters
16
swapped
intro.
out.
I didn't know what
Fresh
16
TV
was, man.
I just talked about this. Fresh TV is the main production company for Total Drama and is also involved with producing 16. Not much else to say. Total Drama is scripted. I mean, this should be obvious. The show is fictional, and there are writers. I don't really know why this is on here.
Yeah, how could you
My
make an
only guess is
animated
that
show
this is
live
some sort
anywhere?
of fan-made theory that within the
Impossible.
Total Drama universe, the show is fictional as well.
Unless you have a
None of
million
the drama
hands.
in the show
Ooh.
is actually real. That would explain how dream
I could
sequences
jerk
and
off
stuff
a million
are able to
times
be shown
faster.
on the show, but like, it's also a cartoon. Cartoon Network censorship. I talked about this a lot in my Total Drama Island review, which you should totally watch. But yeah,
Maybe.
the original Canadian release of this show was censored to hell and back for the American
Gwen
Cartoon
ass,
Network release. Even more so for the European Cartoon Network release. They cut out a lot of words like stupid, crap, and more. And apparently in the
Yeah, I wouldn't want to harm kids' minds with
they cut out
stupid.
all scenes of characters barfing, which is kind of crazy, because characters in this show barf a lot. I'd actually recommend you read further into this, because there's a whole list of it on the Total Drama Wiki. The show doesn't get censored nearly as much anymore, but that can likely be credited to the fact that they've really toned it down with a lot of the sex jokes and mild swear words and stuff
Yeah.
over the years.
Sex jokes.
Feral Ezekiel.
I don't recall many of
This is one
those.
the first really dark topics within the show. Ezekiel is kind of a mean character, as he has only completed in 2 seasons and was the
A
first
mean
character to
character.
be voted out in both. But basically, in Total Drama World Tour,
He was kinda ignorant, but
refuses
that's
to
about
leave
it.
the airplane and acts as a stowaway, living off of scraps with animals in dark parts of the airplane. He grows more and more sickly over time until he eventually becomes a green-skinned feral animal who doesn't speak like a normal person.
How
and
long
only
did
seems
World
to
Tour
want
take
the
for him to
$1
turn into
million.
that?
Eventually,
'Cause that
in the
wouldn't
last
happen.
episode of World Tour, he steals the $1 million and falls into an active volcano. He survives, somehow, but this is honestly such a dark plot point in the show.
I also didn't know
And
there was a
there's
Lord of the
never
Rings
really
parody.
been anything like this before. I mean, he's alive, but he's also just become unrecognizable from the naive country boy he started as.
They ruined him pretty much. Turned him into an animal, man.
All Stars is garbage. I'm not really sure why this is here. It's not really trivia or
No,
anything
it
about the
isn't.
show. It's just a somewhat common opinion. Because, yeah, All Stars is not exactly the most beloved season out there for a lot of reasons.
And
But
a
I
lot
don't
of
wanna
people
start an
think the Earth
argument
is
about
flat.
that here.
There's a thing
All
called being
Stars
wrong.
and Pakato Island are the same season. This is actually
Yeah, they are,
true.
which is
All
weird.
Stars and Pakato were made under the same production code as 2 halves of one complete season.
Which is
A lot of
weird.
people think of All Stars as
Revenge of the
season
Island
5,
is one
Pakato
season, and
as
that's
season
the same
6,
length.
But technically, this is incorrect. Camp TV and Total Drama Reloaded. Years before Total Drama Island was first released, the first mock-up for the show was called Camp TV. There's not too much we know about what the show was
I like
first
the
like
cover.
back then, but there is a surviving trailer of the show in a more primitive state. And
I did a video on that,
interesting
check it
to
out.
see what has and hasn't changed. Total Drama Reloaded was the original name for the 4th season of the show, Total Drama Revenge of the Island. There isn't any really old trailer of the show at that stage in development, and the only reason people know the name is because the voice actor for Chris said the name in an old vlog during the production of the season. We do also have a picture of the original cast for Total Drama Reloaded.
Man,
a
a lot of them look
characters
different.
Similar to how they did in the final product, while some others look very different. The characters B and Dawn are nowhere to be seen here, and they were likely added later in development.
Thank God they added Dawn.
Ezekiel cameos. Throughout Total Drama World Tour, there was a lot of foreshadowing to Ezekiel's big role in the later episodes. You often see him hiding in different parts of the plane, and his presence isn't really known to the contestants until about halfway through. Tier lists. I don't really know what this means. I guess it might be implying that this deep into
I haven't done one yet.
Start wanting to rank your favorite characters or
It's really hard because like 80% of them I feel indifferent towards.
The singing rule was broken. The singing rule was an interesting part of Total Drama World Tour. Basically, every episode had a musical segment where all the campers were forced to sing or be kicked off the show, which is pretty crazy. This is actually why Duncan quits at first. He didn't want to sing. But what's interesting is how little they actually stick to this rule. There are numerous episodes where the song doesn't have everyone sing, and the implication there is a bit confusing.
Maybe they just meant there has to be a song in every episode.
That it's only if Chris wants you to sing or something, but that doesn't explain how in the first episode they pretty clearly say all contestants in each show. Regardless, it's not a big deal, and it probably won't affect your enjoyment of the season.
Does that mean episode?
Stoked. Stoked is a Canadian TV show that is produced by Fresh TV. It was made by the same people who made Total Drama.
It looks a lot closer to 16
I haven't watched
than
it,
TD.
but basically it's about teenagers and surfing or something. Beta designs. This is actually a super fun topic that I can spend a lot of time talking about. A lot of Total Drama characters have beta designs that look super different from how they look in the final product.
Look at Eva, it looks more like
You can see
Heather.
here that Bridget was totally transformed, for example. What's even more interesting is that a lot of the beta designs within the show are reused in some capacity.
And
For
Duncan was
example,
the pizza guy.
Sadie's beta design is used throughout the show as a cardboard cutout paparazza and some random girl who was dating Justin.
Oh, wow.
DJ's beta design was used for a nameless character who was at a fast food drive-thru with the Total Drama Island special. Cameron's beta design was reused as a likeness for the Adversity twins from Donkeyl's Race. This honestly makes a lot of sense, because I'm sure if I was animating the show and needed a character to play a bit part, it would save a lot of time to use leftover designs and stuff for that very purpose.
Because it takes a long time to design a character.
From scratch. Dawn's powers. This one's pretty easy. Dawn is kind of like a nature hippie girl with psychic aura powers, pretty much. There are several points in time in the show where she can talk to animals.
That's a fucking magical fairy shit.
Stuff out about them. Unlike other characters in this show who claim to have supernatural powers, it seems that within the Total Drama universe, Dawn actually has the abilities she claims to have.
Here we go.
Total Drama Ricky. Total
YouTuber.
Drama Ricky is a YouTuber who makes videos about, you guessed it, Total Drama.
I actually haven't seen a single video by him
A
yet.
lot of big Total Drama fans have seen at least one or two of his videos.
I don't really watch Total Drama
Adam Hadel.
YouTube content outside of these
Adam
videos.
Hadel is also a YouTuber who has made videos on Total Drama in the past, but doesn't focus on it primarily. Not much to say here. Alejandro's voice actor changed. Alejandro's original voice actor,
I never
Marco
noticed.
Grazzini, only voiced Alejandro in Season 3. In Total Drama All-Stars, Alejandro's voice was done by Alex House. I remember noticing
He was good at
this as
it,
a kid,
'cause I didn't
and
notice.
really being bothered by it. And although I'm sure Alex tried his best, it was always a little bit off. But hey, what else can you do? Scott died. Now, Scott didn't actually die, but what happened to him near the end of Total Drama Revenge of the Island was super dark. Scott had had a rivalry with the mutant shark Fang throughout the season.
Oh, yes.
Fang joins him in the Hurl of Shame, and an already injured Scott gets mauled. At the season finale, Scott rejoins, forced to sit in some chair for individuals suffering paralysis.
He got Alejandro'd.
Communicate by making beeping noises, which, man, that is really dark. Thankfully, at the start of All Stars, he seems to be normal again, but I remember seeing it as a kid and being genuinely disturbed, partially because of how small the machine was. I thought they somehow cut off Scott's head and reattached it to the machine or something. Scott didn't die, but he certainly was close, and if the show was realistic, I don't think he would have survived, let alone make that recovery.
Well, they needed him in the
Prototype
next season,
designs as
that's why.
interns. I said earlier that beta designs for Total Drama characters are reused a lot, and prior to Season 4, interns for the show were often designed based on beta designs for contestants. The best example is Tyler, whose beta design has been used as an intern for the show on multiple occasions. It's unclear if it's supposed to be canonically the same character each time, or just some extra that they use the same model for. But
no one really cares about
it's
them.
Certainly a fun detail. Browser games. I don't really know what
browser
to say
games.
here. Other than, like a lot of shows that
Bruh, I
air
should
on
make
Cartoon
videos on
Network,
those.
there are little
That'd be
mini
perfect.
games related to the show that you can play on the Cartoon Network website, or at least there used to be. Total Drama Island, totally interactive, is a good example. They made a
Used to
short
be.
mini game for every episode of the show, which is kind of crazy.
That sounds
There have
awesome.
been other mini games over the years, but none that went to the length that Totally Interactive did.
Damn.
Heather's
Ah,
head-shaped
please tell me
changes.
that that's
This
similar.
one isn't really a big deal, but it's still kind of interesting. Heather had her head shaved for a challenge at the end of Total Drama Island, and in the finale you can see her bald head. It's flat at the top, but
Looks like a ball
for the
sack.
Total Drama Island special and beyond, her bald head is a circular shape. This was obviously just a change they made for aesthetic purposes. They likely thought she looked a lot better with a normal shaped head, but I always kind of find it funny because it reminds me of how weird a lot of cartoon characters tend to look when bald. Zoe was originally Molly. Okay, this one is
Molly?
confusing, but just try and pay attention. So, going back to the original character designs for Total
I will.
Drama Revenge of the Island, you can find some very interesting stuff.
Oh, there's a Molly,
Notably
yeah.
3 characters, Zoe, Molly, and Dakota. You might originally think that this is the original character design for Zoe, a character who appeared in the final product. But this is not true. You might also be confused because Dakota's old design looks very similar to Zoe.
Yeah.
That is true.
But the face is still Dakota.
Basically, here's what happened. The original Zoe character that you see in this old design did not make it to the final product. Her personality and everything was dropped, and the slot she took up in the show's cast was likely replaced with Dawn. The original Molly character was supposed to have the modern day Zoe's character arc and everything. This Molly
pretty hot,
character
too.
eventually had her name changed to Zoe, likely after the original Zoe character was scrapped. The staff also redesigned Molly and implemented part of Dakota's original design when making her. Dakota was reimagined as the wannabe rich girl that we know today. Yeah, I hope you understood that.
That wasn't that
Justin
confusing.
never talks. In season 1 of Total Drama, Justin has like 4 lines. He is introduced,
Yeah.
says hi to Chris, banters with Owen, and never talks again. He makes it all the way to the 5th episode before being voted off, and even when he's voted off, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, was there a reason for that?
Interestingly enough, he then plays a huge role in the Total Drama Island special, and goes on to place pretty high in Total Drama Action, where he also is given a lot of screen and voice time. But in season 1, he says almost nothing. Izzy's mental
For whatever
state.
reason.
Now, I'm no psychiatrist, and I don't want to play psychiatrist, especially for a cartoon character who's just supposed to be silly and all over the place. Izzy is obviously supposed to be kind of crazy, but I don't think the staff had any particular mental illness
She has
in mind
very
when writing
pointy
her,
titties.
nor do I think they wanted her to be a serious depiction of mental illness or anything. But there is a video by the theorizer which speculates that she is in fact not insane or
Yes.
anything, and is actually a genius psychopath who pretends to be kind of a nutcase to get by. I don't really agree with it though. Mal is the original personality. Speaking
Ah,
of mental
yes.
illness,
Of course.
I guess, you have the theory that Mal is the original personality.
Wasn't
I
that
don't
in
think
the
there's
show?
really that much basis behind this theory.
I swear I remember
besides
that in the
Mal
show.
saying it at one point. I'm pretty sure
Oh.
that was just him trying to scare Mike. Also, Mike and his personalities did that whole mind reset thing, right? And Mike was left? Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that. I don't know, I just kind of
Fan
accepted the wacky
Total
cartoonness of
Drama
it.
is a show with a format that lends itself easily to fan content. As a kid, I always would watch the show and kind of picture myself being a contestant, and I don't think I'm the only one who did that.
They sure
Because
did
of
make
this,
every character really
fan-made
unique from
seasons
each
are
other.
often created by and for
Impressive.
people who enjoy the show. Now, when I say fan season, I don't mean that people animate a full 26-episode season of
Yeah,
the show,
obviously.
but it's not uncommon among fans to write fanfiction.
Reunion,
or
Oscar
something of that topic.
Island,
Original
Gone Wild.
characters are also a staple here. There is one fan-made season that actually was going to be animated and everything, and that season was Total Drama Reunion. Total Drama
Yep,
Reunion
we know
took
that.
place 15 years in the future, where all the characters are now in their 30s coming back together for one more season.
But then Fresh TV was a
Unfortunately,
dickhead.
After a very successful first episode, the show was sadly given a cease and desist by Fresh TV, and had to stop production. And
Which is bullshit.
That is really unfortunate. I'm not going to go into detail about copyright law or anything, so that's all I will say. Art style inspired by Clone High. When I was first doing research on
Really?
this, I expected this to be something with no real evidence.
I wasn't too into
No.
Clone High.
Todd Kaufman himself confirmed that yes, Total Drama Island's art style was inspired by that of Clone High, which...
That's
wow.
surprising.
Thanks for saving me the speculation, Todd.
I did not know that.
Chris is a pedophile. I don't know how serious of a theory this is, but it's no question that Chris McLean is kind of a creep. Even besides the whole sadistic torture of teenagers thing, there were multiple times in the first episode of the show where he commented on how attractive Lindsay is. Which,
Well,
Yeah.
She's not a child, though.
Beth paid Brady. I don't know if I actually believe this theory, but I certainly think it would be funny as heck if it was true. One of the running jokes in Total Drama Action is that between the first 2 seasons, Beth claims to have gotten this really good-looking boyfriend who is a model and stuff named Brady.
And then he
No one
appeared at the
believes
end.
her, but she's insistent on it being true. But right at the finale of the season, after the winner is declared, Brady shows up looking for Beth, and they hug and everyone is surprised that he's real and is actually dating Beth. The theory is that, basically, Beth and Brady aren't in any significant relationship, and she paid him to pretend to be her boyfriend to impress all the people around her. It's certainly a funny theory, and it also explains how Beth sometimes would claim weird things about him that were easy for the others to poke holes in, but there's no real significant evidence in the show of this being the case. Ezekiel is
That's
racist.
why it's a theory.
I don't really know where this theory comes from. I mean,
Yeah, what?
It was pretty clear at the start of the show that Ezekiel has some backward views, likely influenced by his being raised and homeschooled in a rural area.
Ignorance.
Those were just him saying stuff that was mean to women. There's never been anything said by him that's been overtly racist or anything. He's never been hostile in any way to someone of a different ethnic background based on that alone. Quite the opposite.
Of course, if you just look at a
I don't
person with a
see any
different
reason
skin
to
color
really entertain
in a
this
slightly
theory
weird
in any
way, you're
significant
racist.
way. I like to think the best of people. Lindsay was supposed to be a finalist in Total Drama Action.
Really?
Unfortunately, this isn't true. This was a theory that was going around for a while, but it turns out that there was never any significant plan in development for Lindsay to make it to the finale. I suppose this theory came out of the fact that Lindsay had a lot of screen time throughout the season, especially compared to Beth. So people thought there might have been plans for her to
why
make it
was
to the
Beth
final
the
two.
finalist? It
I still hope
just
one
was
day
wrong.
Lindsay can win a season. She was booted too early in All-Stars. Why Duncan went to juvie. If you don't know, Duncan is a former inmate of a juvenile detention center.
Oh, we know.
For some reason. It's said in his message from home that he's been in trouble for all sorts of illegal antics, but it's not confirmed what he
The
specifically
hell are
went
these?
to juvie for. He states on several occasions that he won't tell when asked why he went, so it's clearly a secret. There's a scene near the end of the first season where he, Gwen, Heather, and Owen all share their deepest, darkest secrets, and he tells
Quite the
them why
heart-to-heart.
he went to juvie, but it's off screen, and we can only really speculate. B's voice. One
Doesn't
of the
have
main
one.
gimmicks of B as a character is that he never talks. At all. He's completely silent, not a single written line. Or so you might think. Because although B never
He did
says
scream
anything,
once.
there is one point where he makes an actual noise with his voice.
I remember that.
And that is when he takes the hurl of shame. When he is launched, he screams, much like any normal person would when being launched from a
Yeah, I
catapult.
remember that.
And he, makes a noise despite not having any credited voice actor. And I don't know if it's publicly known who is doing the scream. I doubt that they hired someone for that scream alone, though.
Yeah,
and
no
if
way.
I had to guess, they probably just use a stock screaming sound effect. But who knows? Original All-Stars lineup. I've heard
Here we
mixed
go.
sources on this, and I think some of this might be hearsay, but it's rumored that the Total Drama All-Stars cast was planned to be a bit different than it ended up being. Apparently, the cast was supposed to also include Owen, Brick, Anne-Maria, and Cody, but it had to be cut down to fit the 13-episode count.
Owen should have been
It's
there,
a
man.
big shame. Owen being cut out of the season that's supposed to be for the best of the best,
Yes.
and being replaced by Sam, who never even reached the merge, is insulting.
Yep.
They really need to return
Sorry,
to the
but Owen's way
26
better than
episode
Sam.
format. Courtney's voice actress changed. I actually didn't know this until just a few days
Yeah,
ago.
what?
But Courtney has had 2 voice actors, Rochelle Wilson and Emily Claire Barlow. The reason you probably never noticed this is because she was only voiced by Rochelle Wilson for the first 2 episodes of the whole show and ended up being recast.
Oh, really?
Funnily enough, after 7 years, Rochelle Wilson returned to Total Drama to voice Sugar, which I found kind of interesting.
Wow.
Duncan and Heather were supposed to be a couple.
Ugh.
This is a theory
Gross.
I really doubt. The only real evidence for this is that there are a couple lines in the first episode where Duncan overtly flirts with Heather, and that's it. Pretty much after that, there's a pretty clear lack of interest between both parties for the rest of the show. If this was ever planned, it must have been really early on, because not only are the 2 characters on different teams,
I doubt it.
Duncan and
I
Courtney
really
are 2
wish,
major
though,
characters in the
that
first
it's not
season who
true.
get a lot of screen time together, and having to rewrite all of that seems like an insane amount of work. Dead interns. This isn't really a theory. It's pretty much true. There are several times throughout the show where Chris mentions that all the interns are in the hospital.
Because he doesn't care
In the
about them.
last episode of
They're
the
props
first
to him,
season,
pretty much.
Chris straight up tells a new intern who was just hired for the show that he was hired because all the other interns died. He tests a challenge in which he falls into shark-infested water, and you can hear chomping sound effects. There's another point in Total Drama World Tour
Bruh,
where
I would've made it out
of
alive,
scarabs
just
on
saying.
the campers, and you can see some scarabs climb up the body of an intern. It cuts away from him, and when it cuts back, he's replaced by a skeleton. So,
Yeah, I remember that.
Dead.
Here we go.
Unauthorized Persian dub. I wasn't so sure about this part of the iceberg, so I actually messaged the original creator of one of the icebergs to tell me what they were referring to. Apparently, Gem TV, a Turkish broadcasting company that does work in several parts of the Middle East, made an unauthorized dub of Total Drama Island in Farsi to be aired in Iran.
Really?
But they had to broadcast it illegally because the clothing of the characters was quote-unquote too American. I mean,
too American.
Based on the way some of the characters are dressed, I'm not surprised.
What does that even
Find a
mean?
link to the first episode in the description. Total Drama All-Stars rewrites.
I gotta check that out.
Total Drama All-Stars, as said earlier, is a controversial season. Because of this, there are a lot of fan-made versions of the show written on websites like Wattpad or DeviantArt. The most famous version I could find was a completely rewritten script for the show with an increased cast and episode count written by users Jasper Pie and BloomTatsa93. They even wrote up a whole version of the theme song, which gets bonus props from me.
Wow.
You can find the link to the rewrite in the description. Cartoon Network ruined Gwent and Dunkney. Okay, wow.
Excuse me?
I thought this was speculation at first, but it turns out this isn't as much of an innocent theory as I thought it was. This is some sad stuff. So, remember how in Total Drama Action, the character of Trent was totally derailed into some obsessive weirdo with no charisma at all?
That's
and he
true.
ended up freaking Gwen out enough for them to break up?
And it came out of nowhere.
That wasn't the original intention of Fresh TV. Apparently, executives at Cartoon Network were behind the breakup, and they were also behind Gwen and Duncan getting together. And now that I know this, holy hell, all of that bad writing and lack of relationship screen time makes a lot of sense. I mean, Tom McGillis himself says that he likes Duncan and Courtney best. And this is just me speculating, but it makes me wonder a bit less why the relationships involving these characters always went downhill. Their personal
is there a reason they ruined
Trent
and Gwen, or
no? Writers themselves. Certainly interesting, if not pretty sad. I certainly wish that Gwen and Duncan stayed together. Lightning sexuality. Alright, I'm stumped on this one.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Trying to refer to anything specifically. I'm sure Lightning, like all male characters, is
the annoying one
as gay by someone, but I don't know if there's anything about Lightning specifically that makes him hinted as gay within the show. All I can really think of is his on and off friendship with Joe, and how he constantly mistakes Joe for a guy.
Didn't he at one point
really
say, like, I'm not into guys?
Joe or anything. There's also that
towards
one
Joe.
scene where Joe thinks she's gonna die and exclaims, "I'm never gonna kiss a guy!" And Lightning,
yeah.
Joe is a guy, quite progressively tells her that he's fine with that and doesn't judge. But yeah, I don't think there's any real direct evidence of Lightning's sexuality either way. Sadie and Owen are related.
Nah,
this isn't
come
really
on.
a serious theory. Owen is one of the few characters whose parents have actually been shown on the show. A few times, in fact. And his mom bears a striking resemblance to Sadie.
Oh god, she does.
Very similar head shape and eyes, and that's always been interesting.
But that's just probably similar character
design. I'm sure they
design.
just partially used Sadie as a reference when designing his mom, just because they're both supposed to be plus-size women, and there aren't many other women of that body type.
Just like that, man.
But maybe this show is trying to drop hints, because Owen's mom and Sadie share the same voice actor, Lauren Lipson.
Well,
Lindsay's roast
goddamn.
is uncensored. This probably isn't true.
Oh, I've heard
At
this.
least, I don't think there's any audio of
At
Lindsay
least-
actually saying swear words at Heather.
Yeah, she wasn't
The leak
swearing.
goes on for a long time, and I don't know what a sentence that needs to be cut out to that extent would sound like. There is sort of a
Pretty sure it was a
quote-unquote
joke.
uncensored version of the roast, and this is because the implication that Lindsay was saying something so vulgar to Heather that it had to be censored for several seconds was a bit too suggestive for Cartoon Network, so they redubbed the scene with Lindsay just saying a bunch of mean but still completely safe to say on TV stuff.
Yeah,
It's a pretty weird dub
that's what I
and
heard.
really clunky. We don't actually know what Lindsay was supposed to say, but it's worth noting that right when she starts talking, her mouth movements bear a striking resemblance to the mouth movements you'd make if you called someone a fucking bitch. Characters are recycled from Mike's personality.
Well, when you put it like that,
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna hear that every
The
time.
similarity between any of Mike's personalities and any Pakato characters is the similarity between Jasmine and Manitoba Smith, given that they're both supposed to be Australian. That's all I can really think of. The only other vague similarity is Mal and Max.
No,
They're evil in very different
Max
ways.
is just
Either
terrible.
this is a joke theory or just kind of a bad one. Heather's plot armor. Heather gets away with a lot of shenanigans in Total Drama Island. Like, she makes it so far into the game despite her entire team hating her.
Yeah, they never
even
voted her
after
off.
losing her alliance. There are several times where she is a very reasonable person to be voted out by her competitors and teammates, and she always makes it. Justin's elimination was totally forced, and they never explained very well how she got Owen and Izzy to vote for him, and it would have probably been a hard scene to write. There's also the time she ruined Gwen and Trent's relationship by kissing Trent, and subsequently
My heart
pissed
still
literally
cracks.
everyone else off. And after all that, she just coincidentally won immunity, and she seemed to half expect it. Like, Heather, you realize that if you didn't win immunity, you would have totally been voted out? There's actually a theory that Heather had an under-the-table deal in-universe with the producers to be given good odds in the competition in exchange for stirring drama
I could see
amongst
that
the
happening,
members.
probably.
It would explain quite a bit, especially that whole random immunity fiasco. But one hole I'd put into the theory is how she was expected to catch a bear in the animal trapping competition. Who knows, though? It's certainly fun to think about.
The Abyss. Spooky.
Eva fandom. As
Fuck
far
Eva.
as I can tell, this is just a joke entry. Eva is not exactly a very popular character, and I doubt there are many people out there who have her as their favorite.
Also,
I
Undertale
certainly
music.
don't dislike her or anything, but she hasn't done much in this show for her to really stand out in any significant way, and I think this is just on the iceberg as a joke. Every copy of Total Drama is personalized. Yeah, this final section is going to be a bit
How?
tongue-in-cheek. The every copy is personalized gag was popularized by the whole Super Mario 64 conspiracy theory meme, and the idea is that every copy of Super Mario 64 has differences from every other copy. The same theory is being applied to Total Drama. It's a cute gag, but it's not
It
really
makes
meant
no
to be
sense.
taken
So you're telling me if I
seriously.
download it,
suppose there's
upload it to a
kernel of
YouTube
truth in
channel,
it, though,
it's
just
different?
because the show was so heavily changed and censored depending on the region it aired in, and there are a lot of minor differences that make two people's experiences with the show different. Some people had Owen win, some people had Gwen win, etc. The Ala Tyler video is canon. I can't believe
What?
I did research for this. So, the Ala Tyler video, named after the ship name for Alejandro and Tyler,
No, gross,
seems to be
why?
a running joke on the Total Drama subreddit and stuff. But I couldn't really find many direct references to what it was. All I knew is that there was some weird video that was a big inside joke among Total Drama fans. I was honestly really curious what it could be, and I was pretty determined to find out. And I did, and I feel pretty dumb that I couldn't tell what it was going to be from the start. It's animated
Oof.
gay pornography. That's all it is. It also replicates the art and animation style and uses lines from the show to make it almost resemble an actual scene, which
Right,
is why
okay.
I think this humorous conspiracy theory exists. But it's not real, obviously. I suppose the novelty of the semi-official looking not safe for work animation flow
That's
from the
hilarious.
shop video
Someone
is
send
still
it,
funny
and
in
I'll
some
do a
sort.
reaction video
Which
to it,
challenges
guaranteed.
can a human survive in real life? It's a pretty simple question. What challenges in Total Drama Island would actually be something you can reasonably survive? And I'm not going to answer for each one. Realistically, no one would have made it past the second episode.
That's
because
right.
a 1,000-foot dive into water will kill you. Total Drama Island is probably the least deadly season, though, as a lot of the challenges are pretty safe. Dodgeball can be painful, but you're not going to die doing that. I'd wager that Total Drama Revenge of the Island is probably
That's where the
deadliest
fantasy
season,
got ramped
just
up.
because of all the nuclear waste stuff. The campers are metahumans. Another joke theory.
Metahumans?
I don't even know what to say for this one. Most of the campers don't really display any real supernatural powers, except for Dawn, whom I mentioned earlier. So, yeah. Ella is real. Gee, I sure hope not. Ella in real life sounds
What?
like a handful. Thank God it's probably not true. Camp Wawanakwa.
There was no evidence for that one. Why'd they even say
I
it?
actually ended up doing some research for this. Camp Wawanakwa is obviously a fictional location, but I wanted to find out if there was a clear lake or anything that the show is supposed to be based off of. The show says that Camp Wawanakwa is somewhere in Muskoka, Ontario, so I actually looked around on Google Maps and searched
Is it
for
real?
Lake Wawanakwa there, but it doesn't exist. So, yeah. It probably should be obvious, but Camp Wawanakwa is fictional, and the lake it exists in is fictional as well. Ugh. That's everything.
Wow, that was
Wow,
very long.
Thanks for watching all of this. It certainly ended up taking a lot more time than I expected. But, like Prince, I'm not much for cutting material. If you liked what you saw from me here, I'd highly recommend you check out my video,
Just gonna let his, roast
of Total
you know,
Drama Island.
display.
Given that you stomached this, you clearly derive some enjoyment from long-form analysis for 15-year-old kids' cartoons, and that's exactly what I do on that video, except in that one I focus a lot more on being comedic than I did in this one. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I love you all.
And I love you, man. Well, never seen you before, but you know, I probably do. So anyway, that was the Total Drama Iceberg explained. Oof. I gotta admit, there was quite a lot of information in there that I never knew, never even came across whatsoever. For example, fucking Total Drama, a game where every episode is different? That's fucking awesome, goddamn. Please, somebody try to find that, and I will totally make a video, okay? And if not, poo. I will do something else then. Yeah, some of these just made no sense. Fucking Ella being real? Who? Who is it? She's probably inspired by Mary Poppins or whoever. Or Disney princess, I don't fucking know, but not a real person, goddamn. And, yeah, I think some of these are probably the type of thing where you're drunk with your pals and you're like, hey, what if Camp Wawanakwa was, like, real? Bro, wouldn't that be so cool? And it made it in the iceberg! I'm mad. Not really. But yeah, this was pretty cool. I don't think I'd watch another one of these because it's quite long and it's kind of too much for my small monkey brain to process. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you think any of these are real, the ones that weren't confirmed, do you think they're real? And so on and so forth. And I'll see you in whatever next video. Adios.